All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about my new favorite concealed carry pistol. Just kidding, obviously. This, however, is my 8.6 8.6 Blackout precision, urban precision, shotgun, zone hunting pistol. All right, guys, Ben from the Korean Marksman here. I'm really not entirely sure if there is a gun that exists that I've wanted for longer than one of this variety that you see here. Obviously, 8.6 Blackout hasn't been out for that long. All things considering, however, the second it did drop, I was like, oh boy. I started lusting after it, and I think what I have here is ultimately just the culmination of everything I've wanted it to be, everything I was hoping it could be, and I'd love to talk more about kind of the build, the components, as well as some of the philosophy and mindset behind it. So let's dive into it. But before we dive in, I'd love to thank some supporters and fantastic people at the channel. This build has been mostly given to me, and I'll disclose that as we kind of work through it. Additionally, some external supporters, DK Mags, they're a gun store. If you would like to shop with them, you can find the links of all of these places in the description down below. It's kind of like a little landing page. So use code TKM5 for 5% off everything on their site, including Bang Bangs, but it doesn't include ammo. So everything but ammo. If you want ammo, go to Buffalo Creek Ammunition. You can use code TKM5 there as well, save you 5% off your order. And then Eberl stock for all of your bags, EDC, hunting stuff kind of needs, use code TKM10. Currently they're running a holiday sale, so make sure you use my affiliate link as well to save big. Okay, so before we jump into the build, I'm just gonna talk about why 8.6 for me, what about it is appealing. I built my first AR, it was a 10.5 inch from Palmetto State Armory, and then I bought a PSA 300 Blackout upper. I was really excited about it. I got a suppressor, waited 14 months for it. But ultimately I was like, hey, I wanted to have something quiet, capable, and versatile like the 300 Blackout. It's been compared to the shotgun in terms of its versatility with the cartridge of what you can do. And so that just was really appealing to me because 5.56 is great, it's reliable, it's easy to find, it's effective, but there are things that the 300 can do that 5.56 cannot. But there are also things that the 300 cannot do that I don't love about that cartridge. Namely, it's great up and close in self-defense distances. And of course, I guess that is being a little bit facetious. It is far more capable than from 0 to 25. Sometimes it feels like that's kind of its useful range. And so I just wanted to have something that maintained the same exact pros of the 300 Blackout, except for its lightweightness of the cartridge and also arguably affordability now that it's been out for a little bit. And I just wanted to kind of plus up and beef up my capability with Subsonic, Supersonic, and then 8.6 Blackout comes out, and it is almost perfect for the application of 400 and in. You have insanely fast twist rate, which does kind of funky things on a living creature. You have heavier bullets, rounds that will feed in a semi-auto or auto loading firearm, which this is not obviously, so that doesn't necessarily matter. Fits in a 308 pattern magazine, so you don't need special mags for it either. And the round is just fascinating to me. Downside is it's not cheap, really not cheap. So you're gonna have to kind of be working around that. But this isn't a gun that I'm going to be taking to the range every day. This is more of a specialty item. So living in Minnesota, I haven't shot a deer. I hunt deer. And I guess we're gonna kind of talk about the experience with this. I live in mostly a shotgun zone area. So you can't bring a rifle in, you can't bring things with a stock, unless it's like a slug gun. And so the previous year was my first ever hunting season. And I hunted with my 300 Blackout AR-15 pistol. Taking it out there, I was excited about it. I had a 6-inch barrel with a suppressor and supersonic rounds. And so I just wasn't the most confident because the barrel was short. I didn't necessarily want to use supers, but it didn't necessarily matter all that much, I guess, in the end either. But that again, after kind of seeing the initial hype of 8.6 Blackout upon its release, created an itch within me that I felt like only 8.6 could scratch. I was able to get this gun built out, zeroed, tested, in time for opener, which Minnesota's opener is extremely short. The hunting season for firearm is 2 weeks. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a deer with this gun. So we'll have to report back next year with this build and see how it does on a whitetail. So there's no real world testing and evidence. However, I do have rounds through it, so I can talk about that experience. And I have carried it through the field 4 times so far. So, okay, enough teasing. I'm just gonna walk through the build tip to butt, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this gun and what it is to me. Starting at the end, we have the Silencer Co. Omega 36M. Silencer Co. sent this one out to me for free. I mean, I had to pay for the $200 tax stamp robbery, but yeah, I got this can for free, which I'm kind of astounded by. The performance on this is amazing. It's perfect. Basically what I did was I reached out to them and was like, hey, can you give me something? I want free things. I don't know what I want. I don't know what would be best for this gun, this cartridge, this use case. So walk me through it. And then I got on the call with one of the guys from marketing, and was basically led to this can that this is kind of the can that you want to go with if you're going to suppress 8.6. Initially, I was just planning on using my Silencer Co. Spectre 9, which is a 9mm can, but upon asking Silencer Co.'s team, they were like, yeah, it is rated to work with 8.6 Blackout Subsonics. Talked to the marketing guy, he was like, yeah, don't do that though. We're gonna get you this. So this can has been amazing, super, super silent. It can get super, super short, just about as short as the Spectre 9. However, you have the modularity option to kind of take off 2.5 inches or so of the can if you want to like unscrew it and then just kind of make it a K size can. Additionally, they sent me some end caps here that allow you to modulate what caliber you shoot through it. So of course the baffle size is inside, that diameter is fixed. That's for a 36 caliber. However, to kind of further optimize your sound and your signature reduction, you can change out the size of the end cap. I'm gonna take the can off quick. Love this because it's quick detach. Sorry, I can't show that to you because YouTube hates disassembling firearms and such, but they also sent me the little ASR muzzle brake, so I can shoot it unsuppressed. I can have it in a bag, kind of more packed down, fold it up with a suppressor off to kind of keep it small. Additionally, I have not been a QD guy. I've been a direct thread can guy, not by necessarily like snobbery or choice, but I will say the QD is really nice. And especially a can that you can use with multiple firearms. Like this is a can you can put on pretty much any gun. And you can further optimize with the end caps, like I said, but having that QD really does make it a lot easier. Next up, CV Life sent me out this bipod. Thing's great. It does exactly what I need a bipod to do. Telescopes in like multiple positions. It does like spin and rotate, so I haven't needed that feature yet, but I'm gonna reset that. Legs have various telescoping lengths that make it easier so you can kind of find your natural cheek weld with your stock. And yeah, I mean, I didn't use this for hunting. I wasn't necessarily planning on it, but it makes the gun look cooler, so I keep it on. It's also much easier to shoot at the range and zero the gun. And this specific one attaches via M-LOK to the bottom of this bolt-action chassis. Next, we're going to talk about the Faxon barrel. They sent this out to me for free as well. This is not a pre-fit barrel, so you will have to kind of do some fine-tuning in terms of how you headspace it. I will show you guys kind of the assembly process for this gun if you're interested, just like kind of overlaying the footage over here. This one's a 1-in-3 twist. It's a 12-inch barrel, and I think this is the optimal length for 8.6 Blackout, just based on what the creator of it, Kevin Brittingham, has mentioned. Going any shorter and you sacrifice kind of performance with especially supersonics, but obviously subsonics would be affected too there. Going any longer and you risk the effect of making your subsonics supersonic, if that makes sense. Also, if you know me, I'm a very I'm a short guy, so I like small things because it's easier for me to run, manage, especially when there's weight hanging off at the end of the gun. That's the hardest weight to control. Weight at the back end, kind of closer to the shooter, is much easier to manage in terms of fatigue and control. But this 12-inch gun, especially with a longer suppressor, is very, very easy to work with and operate. With headspacing this thing, it was super easy. All I had to do was drop in a go gauge. I purchased the go gauge. You should get a no-go gauge, but I couldn't find one. I mated this up to the action. I dropped the gauge in the chamber, twisted the barrel on until it was tight, and then backed off just a tiny bit. And then I just torqued down that barrel nut, and we've been good to go. Every round's been fine. The gun hasn't exploded on me yet. But I would recommend using a no-go gauge because that's kind of how you know if you're in the green zone for sure. Next, we have the Sharps Brothers chassis. This thing is kind of what really makes this gun just a cream my pants kind of gun. Like I gotta change my pants. Looking at this thing, shooting this thing, oh, it's just so good. It brings the aesthetics. They have the very sleek aluminum here with a 9-inch handguard that mates up to the beautiful heart of it with matching cherry wood grips and the M-LOK panels. I do have to figure out what to do with the wood on this one because the wood is just a little bit too bulky for me to put a QD sling point in there. So if you're running the 9-inch shorter handguard like I am and you do want the wood panels for the M-LOK, you will have to put the M-LOK inside of one of the QD points on the handguard, if that makes sense. So just be aware of that potential downside. To me, the aesthetics, the look is worth it. I do just have to figure out how I can get a sling mounted up to this thing. Sharps Bro sent this one out to me for free. So I'm so excited about that because that's what really just transforms this thing for me. Going to the glass. This one is complicated because, and kind of how this gun started was with a different optic setup. It was with a, I'll grab it now. All right, it was with this CV Life, what is this, a 4-18 or 3-18? 3-18 optic. And then I had top piggyback, but offset because of how bulky these turrets are. I did have a O-sight for quick acquisition at 1 power. They did send that out to me for free. Also, CV Life sent me this optic for free. Kind of bummed that I couldn't use it. And the reason why I couldn't use it is because the elevation turret, it wouldn't get low enough for me to like actually zero it with the Subsonics. I've been shooting like 285, 290 grain. So perhaps if you're using supers, this optic will be just fine, but I think for now I'm gonna have to find a different application for the scope. And then didn't run a red dot on the LPVO because I already have 1 power with the SIG 1-10 Tango LPVO. This one I did purchase with my own money. I've just had it lying around. So I kind of realized a few days before opener that, hey, this optic that I had on the gun is not gonna work. So I just kind of panicked through on this one because that was the next best option I had. And it's been okay, it's been fine. Will I keep it on it? Maybe, I don't know. The rings on it are just Monstrum rings. Got them off Amazon. They're pretty cheap, kind of embarrassingly enough, because I know you wanna have like the way that you mount your optic to the gun be as quality as the optic that you mount it to, but these are doing the job currently. The true heart of this gun is the action. This is probably one of the only things that I actually paid with my own money for. This is the Aero Precision Solus. It's their lightweight one that doesn't have full-length Picatinny on top. I couldn't find the regular one in stock, and this one I literally bought the last one on Midway USA. These things are kind of flying off the shelf, so they're kind of hard to find, but I was grateful to find one. So I got it transferred over to DK Mags, my FFL, and called it a day. It looks pretty with the fluted bolt, and it runs well. It's easy to cycle the gun. Yeah, I have no complaints really whatsoever. I also appreciate you don't need a lathe to assemble it. It's like I just assembled this entire thing myself. Obviously, with the footage that you've seen, you don't have to take it to a gunsmith if you kind of know what you're doing a little bit, but mostly if you just have the proper tools. Magazines I'm running are just the AICS pattern from Magpul. I have a 5-round and a 10-round, and the rounds that I'm using are the Fort Scott Munition Tumble Upon Impact Subsonics. So heard good things about those. They are extremely accurate. I did start the zero with Buffalo Creek. Not gonna lie, the accuracy wasn't amazing. I threw in these rounds and my groups tightened up by about like twice as tight. They got twice as good. Now granted, I think the rounds are literally twice as expensive, so you do run into that. Talking about the trigger. This is the Timney Hunter's trigger, and I think it pulls at about 3 pounds, give or take. This thing's awesome. It's adjustable. Oh, that's just such a nice trigger. Oh, I mean, come on, guys. And the fact that you can adjust it to make it lighter, heavier, whatever you want it to be. I didn't even touch it. So nice. When I was installing it into the chassis to mate up with the action, I did run into the trigger literally being pushed up too far by the trigger guard of the chassis. So you might want to adjust kind of how the trigger sits in terms of sucking it up that way a little bit more, because otherwise you're going to run into some catastrophic malfunctions, such as can't pull the trigger, or the firing pin's going to just drop kind of randomly. So you don't want that. You don't want your trigger like physically touching your trigger guard. Yeah, Timney sent that one out to me for free as well. Super grateful for them because I don't need any other trigger in this gun. I can't remember who it's from. I did buy it. I threw on a little buffer tube to Picatinny kind of adapter for this gun. The chassis that I got from Sharps Bros, they should by now have their like non-AR buffer tube chassis out that just like it's just straight up Picatinny on the end. I am glad I did this one though, because the pistol brace that I'm running, the SB Tactical FS13A or whatever it's called, that doesn't have any QD points, and the way to do it is kind of annoying. So this having a QD point built in, I do really appreciate that, even though I can't use the other QD point on the other end of the gun. So the brace is great. SB sent this one to me for free. Basically how you fold it is you apply pressure with your thumb, pushing and like pulling at the same time, and then it pops the hinge. The hinge is aluminum, everything's aluminum, so except for like the plastic shoulder part. I think that's great because it just makes it a little bit more durable, a little bit more of a long-term gun for me. You don't have to worry about plastic snapping, so I do like that it folds. I like the feel of it, but in it being a pistol brace, you certainly can tell that you're dealing with a pistol brace here. It just feels really different. You're not able to really get as good of a cheek weld. I mean, you're pretty much resting your cheek on the metal here, but it is very low profile. It's pretty intuitive and I would say snag free. And it makes the gun just look a lot slimmer. To me, kind of working around the legality issues of having a stock on this gun, turning this into a short-barreled rifle, all of those kind of things, that's totally worth it. The juice is worth the squeeze, if you'd ask me. The shooting experience. This gun is super pleasant to shoot. It's laughably quiet because there's no action cycling with gas. I had never shot a suppressed subsonic bolt gun before, and so shooting it at the range was a pleasant surprise. People next to me in the lanes were like, they're kind of looking over as I started to zero it, as I started to put it through its paces. And honestly, I felt just really cool shooting this gun at the range. I mean, that's half the reason why we get the guns that we get, right? I feel like this platform, the build here, I do want to get subs through this gun and like see how far I can push that myself as a shooter, see what the zero discrepancy kind of looks like, as well as just what the experience feels like. But so far I just have subsonic through this gun, and that's fine. But I think this is kind of the ultimate urban precision, as well as if you're in a restricted hunting zone. I mean, come on, this thing is so awesome. This thing, I wanted to take a deer with this thing so freaking bad. And my buddy took one in his tree stand 500 yards away, heard the shots loud and clear because it was a slug gun. And my heart just drops and I'm like, I'm not gonna get to use you. And so here we are. But don't worry guys, I'm gonna be training with this gun still. I'm gonna be working it up and getting ready for next year because that's all I freaking can do. Let me know what your guys' thoughts on 8.6 Blackout is. I did have kind of a big 8.6 versus 3.38 ARC debate in my mind. I guess the biggest thing that kind of sent me over was someone reached out and was like, hey, yeah, we'll send you that barrel for free. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm locked in here. Still glad with the route that I went, and I don't think I would have done it differently, even if I could have had both barrels for free. Excited to put more rounds through this platform and this gun. I'm a fan of 8.6 Blackout. I'm a fan of 300 Blackout as well. And I'm really excited to see what this does to a deer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you might have found out something useful, maybe some inspirational ideas for your very own builds. If you liked it, please give the video a like, drop a comment in the section down below if you had any questions. As always, stay safe out there, guys. God bless you and your families, and remember to live a life worth defending. We'll see you in the next one.